Hello and welcome to another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. Every other Monday I put up a new episode where I discuss something from the world of anime or manga or manhwa or light novels, something that is interesting me that I want to chat with you about. We are at the midst of the beginning of the fall 2023 season, so of course it's time to discuss all 8 fall 2023 isekai. That's right, we only have 8 this season, which is about average. I think we had 11 last season and maybe 8 before that, so we're in the general. This is the new normal when it comes to isekai. Sorry, I had to check something there. But yeah, we only have 8. And as always, I will be talking about the ones that I'm going to be watching, or I've already started, the ones I might check out, and of course, the ones I don't plan on watching at all. And I'll give reasons for all of that. Let's get into it. Our first one is I Shall Survive Using Potions. We got an overworked office lady who dies, is reincarnated in a fantasy world, transferred to fantasy world as a younger version of herself, and her cheat skill is making unbelievable potions with some. I haven't watched the first episode, so I believe cheat magics, her skills, but also her knowledge of modern Japan. It's cute. There's a bunch of fun characters running around. It is one of the closest we get to girls doing things style series. I'm definitely going to check this one out. Love the premise. I have not read this. I don't even know if there is a manga. If there's a manga, I haven't read it. I know this is based on a light novel, but there might be a manga adaptation. I didn't do my proper research, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to check this one out because the premise is really fun. To me, anyway. Sounds like it's going to be a hootenanny. So yeah, I Shall Survive Using Potions. Actually, as soon as I'm done recording this episode, I'm going to watch the first episode of that show. So, maybe in the comments below, in the show description, I'll write in if I liked it or not, but I might just wait till a future video to let you know that. Suspense. If you've been following along what's going on this season, you knew already that I will be checking out I'm in Love with the Villainous. You knew I was going to watch this one. It is your somewhat classic now otome game style thing. So it's a dating game. Girl dies in her favorite dating game. She is not the heroine of the piece. And she's not the villainess. Instead, she's a minor character who is, of course, infatuated with the villainess. That's her favorite character in the story. Now, sometimes these tales are, well, in the game, she's misunderstood, or she gets tricked by someone, but she's blamed, or the writing was bad and they just needed someone to be the villain. In this case, it's more like I find her attempts to be a villainess endearing. Like, is it the tsundere nature of her? Is it her just being bad at it? Whatever it is, it gets her. So this is a Yuri Isekai. We've had a couple of these, and while I think the manga doesn't go hard enough, apparently the light novel does go hard. So it is not subtext, it is text. Obviously, the name of the show will tell you it is not just a subtext piece. So we've had a few of these of Yuri elements in our isekai and or our fantasy world stories, and I'm all for it. We need more of those stories, and so I'm very much interested in this. I watched the first episode, liked it a lot. If you do not like this kind of like, I am being mean, oh, you're so cute, I'm flustered by you being like this, then this is probably not for you, but I love that shit, so I'm eating it up. Yum, yum, yum. Why did I say that? Another show which is returning is The Faraway Paladin. This is season 2, but the title of it is not Faraway Paladin 2. It is called The Faraway Paladin, The Lord of Rust Mountains. So, I am going to watch this one. I might end up giving it up, but I am going to start with it. I think that I liked the first half of the first season way more than the second half of the first season of The Faraway Paladin because it was incredibly slow paced in its from birth character growing up, learning powers, questioning, remembering his past and moments of it and the deep regrets he had. but then also learning about this fantasy world from three incredibly overpowered characters with their own backstories. And then as we delved into those backstories, it transitioned into what is the meat of it, which is unfortunately a little too much of the Christian savior kind of story than I was hoping it would be. That, like, yeah, there's a world of gods, but there's one god that's pretty awesome, and it's my god. And I don't know if you've heard about my god, but you should listen about my god. And it's like, I don't love it. I don't love it. But I am going to check it out because it's beautifully animated. It's a gorgeous story, or storytelling. It's done gorgeously, I should say. It looks very pretty. It's animated very well. A lot of money put into this show. And so I'm going to keep going, even if I'm not as enthused. I don't know if I'll be watching this weekly so much as I'll be catching up every couple of weeks. A show that I will watch weekly, of course, is another return. This is season 2 of The Saint Magic Power is Omnipotent. I can't believe we're getting more of this. This is an isekai, obviously, because I'm talking about it today. But the isekai part is just window dressing to a lovely romance series. This could just be a romance novel in paperback that you read on the beach. You know, it's a story of there are two women that are considered to maybe be saints candidates. One is young and beautiful. The other is beautiful, but like mousy and a little older. And she's just like basically like, you're here by mistake, clearly. But it's clear she's the saintess. And the first season is about her understanding her abilities and learning how she can help the world. But also it's about all of the incredibly gorgeous men surrounding her that are all infatuated with her good nature and her brains and her beauty and her ability to help people and her desire to help people. So it's just like a bunch of hot dudes all around this nice lady. And we're getting more of that in season 2. There's more of her magic with knowledge of her previous world, attempting to help people, big help and small help, and of course, the various men that love her for it. It's real good. It's real good. There's some action, there's some fighting, there's some monsters, but like, because there's miasma spreading across the world and all that. But it also is like, why is this guy paying so much attention to me? It's good. Now, what about the two that there are two here. There's going to be two that I don't think I'll be watching, but maybe I will. And then there are going to be two that I definitely am not. You see, we've got 4, 2, and 2. Pretty balanced for your boy who likes watching isekai. All right, so Dead Mount Death Play is an isekai, and I did not know that. So my apologies that I did not cover Dead Mount Death Play Part 1. This is the Part 2. I did not cover Part 1 because I did not know it was isekai. I just knew that it was kind of an aloof, weird series where like a futuristic, covered in dark magic Tokyo where there were like odd circumstances and people fighting each other. I did not realize that the main character was from a fantasy world and ended up in Tokyo. And that is an isekai. Some people would say it's not an isekai because the main character, the different world is different from our world. But in my opinion, it is a different world than the main character is used to. Some people would call that an inverse isekai. I don't believe that nonsense. I think an inverse isekai is when the main character has a bunch of people from other worlds come to visit them, a Tenchi Muyo scenario. Or Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid scenario, where Kobayashi is the main character and all of these dragons come from a different dimension. That's a reverse isekai. This one, our main character comes to a futuristic Tokyo, and then a lot of nonsense happens. I've only seen clips of this show, but I do know that there was a character his soul ended up in a felt shark plushie, and was very happy about that. And that's pretty much all I know. There's some deadpan humor. Well, I guess I know that. So maybe I'll go back and watch the first season because I didn't know it was an isekai, and then I'll watch part two. But probably not. But also maybe, and not a definitive no. Also not a definitive no. I might watch the first episode of this. That's where my maybe comes in. That I might watch episode 1 of Buddha. I have not said this out loud yet, so here we go. Buddha Reba. The story of a man turned into a pig. A man gets reincarnated as a pig in a fantasy world, or summoned as a pig, I am not sure. And a girl who is a slave because she's got the collar can help her out. They can talk because she can understand the pig via telepathy. And then adventures happen. I think his goal is to like eventually look after her because she's the one that can understand him. And maybe it's also kind of creepy because she can understand his thoughts, which aren't always great because he was a guy that was turned into a pig. And again, I don't think I'm going to be watching every episode of this, but I might watch the first episode just to see what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Again, I can't say that this is going to be one where I'm watching every week and am fully invested, but I also just kind of need to know what's up. Let's move on to the two that I will not be watching. The Eminence in Shadow Season 2. Did not watch the first season. Not interested in watching the second. Now, some people will say that this is a hidden gem, that this edgelord main character is so over the top that it goes around and comes back to being great. And that might be true, but I don't care. There's so much anime out there. There's so much good and so much weird and so much like odd and strange and unique and fine that I don't need to watch this one. The guy that was basically the character Kick-Ass and then died and then created a fable for himself that became real, that he is sometimes fully aware is real and sometimes isn't. And he is also a character who wants to be the shadowy, all-powerful character that people don't know about, but that also wants to have his cake and eat it too by being like, there's a whole thing where he is playing the character that you don't know is strong but turns out to be strong, and he is like revealing himself, but then he also has some powers some fights where he fights people who are expecting to win and are shocked to lose because he likes that. And it's just, everything about it sucks. Like, it doubles and triples and quadruples down on all of the parts of storytelling that I don't enjoy and characterization I don't enjoy. So yeah, I'm not going to watch this one. I didn't watch the first season. I'm not going to watch the second season. And then our last anime, our last isekai to chat about, is a show that I have watched in the past, but I have no plans to watch season 3 of The Rising of the Shield Hero. I have no plans to watch this because there's a very specific reason. And it is that I thought the second season was bad. Now, some people say that it was the adaptation of the manga that was bad. Other people say there was no way to have it good because that arc wasn't particularly great. This arc is great, and they'll do a great job because, you know, they fucked it up before. They won't fuck it up this time. And then I say, let me know in the comments. Come back to this video. Make yourself a note. If you're watching The Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3, and at the end of it, you were like, now that's a satisfying anime. Let me know. Travel back to this and let me know in the comments, because I won't find out because I don't want to watch it. I think Rising of the Shield Hero was a fine enough first season and a very disappointing second season, both in content and animation and quality of the CGI and the blending of the digital and CGI. It was just very difficult to watch and enjoy. I know that they skipped some stuff to make a complete first season. They skipped some things, and then when they went back to it, it was weird, and maybe the second arc didn't have enough meat on the bones. I don't really care. All I know is I wasn't satisfied with it, and there's too much good shit out there for me to care about this one. And that has been all 8 fall 2023 Isekai. If I missed any, like I missed in the past Dead Mount Death Play, let me know in the comments. Also in the comments, I would like to hear from you. What would you like to see me do in the future? I have a couple ideas for things for Pat Bear's Anime Club. I think I know what I'm going to be doing next, but it's been a while since I heard some suggestions of things you'd like to hear about. A deep dive on an anime or from the past, or a genre of anime that I haven't really explored too much. Do you want more Halloween recommendations? Because I've done that in the past. Horror anime is not really my thing, but I've both recommended spooky-ish stuff that I thought was really good, and also I watched some episodes of a horror anime and gave a review of that. So I don't know what else you'd like. You've like more recommendations of Halloween anime that I haven't talked about in the past. Let me know what you'd like in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.